Would you guys mind if I take a little video, because there's court cases involved in DCF and everything? I don't have to videotape you guys' faces, but I do want to videotape a little bit. Do you mind?
I don't know if we're allowed. I don't. I don't even know what this is about.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want you guys to see that there's no bruises all over my daughter, my 3-year-old. Because DCF came here yesterday, made all kinds of false accusations. They came to the zoo.
Yeah, we didn't call them.
I know you didn't.
Oh.
I know. And I wanted to talk to you, being the officer here, and you being the counselor here, because from what I was told, you were the one that was sitting with DCF with my daughter yesterday. Is
Yeah,
correct?
so that she had someone to call.
Okay.
Because we didn't call.
Okay,
Only
I've
call
sent an
staff.
email to the principal. I wanted to CC you on it. If you want, before I walk out, give me your email and I'll CC you on it. I want you to read it because I was very strong with the principal about this. I have pending lawsuits against DCF. They're investigators. I'm in a bad divorce and custody battle with these two. And they've slandered, they libeled me. They got a TICO order, a removal of children. They committed perjury in court 3 times that morning, claiming they didn't know where me and their kids were. They couldn't contact me. It's a mess. For me to continue to talk, though, I need to get them out of the room. I can't talk in front of them. Would you mind taking them out real quick? But I need to talk to you guys because DCF is not to have any access to any of my children without police on body camera present. And I don't know what your policy.
We're not allowed to refuse them. It's the law.
Well, you are allowed to call me and call law enforcement.
We're actually not.
Really? Because nobody called me. I got to hear this from my daughter yesterday.
Yeah, we don't call. We're not. It's not part of it.
Okay, because DCF, during my mess with them, why I'm suing them, this isn't the first time, they've told me I have legal right to have law enforcement on body camera there when they interview my child. This was DCF's words to me. And I've made it very clear to them they are not to interview my children without law enforcement and body camera present, because it's very simple. My daughter you were there, I mean, as a witness, but there's no video documentation, there's no evidence of what she actually said. They can turn around and says whatever. This is why I've demanded that DCF have police with body camera footage present.
I mean, I was there,
Mhm.
so I'd be a witness, but we don't ever call the parent because it's typically about the parent. We wouldn't. That's not protocol.
Yeah, but parents have legal rights too. And I've
Not through, like, when DCF comes, we have to allow the children to speak to them, and we do not call the parent.
What about law enforcement though? Do you know this is law
No.
enforcement? Any
Law
about this?
enforcement is,
We don't call them either.
We can't call law enforcement because DCF works for the state. So if they come in and ask to speak to a kid or a child, we have to let them speak to a child, or we'll be held accountable.
You might sit down real quick. So,
Now, if they come to your house, that's something different, but to
Right.
a school, they don't have to call law enforcement to speak to a child.
so I'm not gonna go into all the
But
details.
that's also why I stay with them, those dumb ones.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
So now that, on the other hand, they can't come in here and talk to a child without the counselor being present.
That's good.
But law enforcement, like, we can't call law enforcement because we don't know what's going on. We don't know if it's with the parent or with somebody outside the household, so.
But, okay, let's say if it was something serious against the parent, what's the problem with law enforcement being there with body camera? I mean, that's great. It just documents what the allegations are.
It's just not protocol. It just have-
Well, okay, so I emailed the principal and I emailed the head of DCF, and I'm threatening to further sue them now for all this. It's a big mess. I'll forward you the email. And I've requested Calkins, tell you guys that you guys do need to call law enforcement. I don't know what he's gonna say. I need to have a meeting with him. I asked for a meeting with him, but apparently he's not coming back till Friday. Because DCF has a long history with me of making up shit, excuse my language, and I'm suing them for it. They got a TICO order, a temporary emergency removal of children, committed perjury 3 times that morning, telling a judge they didn't know where I was, they couldn't contact me or the children, they couldn't assure their safety. And we were sitting in their office in Kissimmee in DCF for 3 hours on body camera next to a police officer. When they gave me the TICO order, I says, I'm gonna sue the pants off you. You just committed perjury 3 times in front of a judge in Osceola County. Well, I'm sitting in your office 3 times and you told the judge you didn't know where I was or the kids. And you couldn't assure their safety, that's why you needed the removal order. They turned around, they gave me one of my kids back and gave the other 2 kids to the mother, which is what they're doing. This is why they're doing it, they're siding with the mother. And I said, that's perjury. You just committed a felony. The officer didn't arrest him. I want to sue the sheriff's office for it too. He should have got up and arrested him. It's all on body camera. Nothing. This is just one of many things. I won't go into details. I have a war with DCF, and you just saw my daughter. There's nothing wrong with her. They came to the zoo. We were at the zoo yesterday. We just finished picking strawberries, and we're at the Florida Wild Zoo or whatever they call it. I said, bring the sheriff's office, bring body cameras, come see my daughter. It's BS. It's coming from the mother, and DCF's colluding with them and involved with it. So I need to, whatever rights I do have, I need to use them.
I mean, just so you know, when they come out, it doesn't mean they're siding, they're just investigating. They're not.
Jessica Scott, the investigator in Kissimmee, signed under sworn affidavit, penalty of perjury, you know what a sworn affidavit is, to assist in my wife's removal of the children from me when I had them for 2 months filing a divorce and custody case. She called me a groomer, a drug addict, all kinds of stuff. Just complete off-the-wall BS. Sworn affidavit. Then when we testified her to come and testify in court in front of the judge in the divorce case, she said, we'd never have any safety concern. Did me nor the department has ever had any safety concerns around the children and the father. She just committed perjury again, because what did she say in the sworn affidavit? This is the game they're playing for her. And it's a dangerous game. It's affecting my children. And I need to utilize every legal right I have to stop it and protect it. The only thing I know is law enforcement body camera, at least I could document it. So to back up, we had a lot of stuff go on at Kissimmee, even during the TICA order, and I demanded law enforcement be there with a body camera every time. They called law enforcement, and they said it is my legal right. This is what DCF told me, that it's my legal right to, if they're gonna interview any of my kids, I can demand law enforcement be there with a body camera. And I'll send you the email, that's part of the email I sent to him, and I forwarded it to Carlos Robos, the head of DCF. But apparently they waltzed in here yesterday, no police, no body camera with you, and I don't want that to happen again. If I can stop it, I want to legally stop it now and let you guys, the principal, DCF, know next time I want law enforcement here with a camera. And also it's going to document my lawsuits, because this is harassment what they're doing. There's nothing on my daughter. It was unfounded again. This is like the umpteenth time, you know? They were threatening to come into my house yesterday, and it's not even my house, it's my fiance's house. I said, you go get a warrant. Make sure you go get a warrant, and I'm gonna videotape all of it. Bring the whole police squad, bring a warrant. I've had it with these people, I've had it. But it's affecting the kids, it's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm in a huge custody battle with the mother. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the courts, and I've just enrolled Junior, my 5-year-old here, and she's fighting it, and she's got 3 lawyers from Help Now, this domestic violence advocate. I'll tell you a little bit more of the story. This is all about the house that was paid for that I had in her name, Florida titles, there's no deed. It was a mobile home in Sherwood Forest RV Park. I called the realtor out, I was about to sell the house for $100,000 cash. She found out the titles were exclusively in her name. She drummed up with his neighbors this plan of domestic violence. She had me arrested. I went in front of a jury, 7 jurors, in a court. She came in crocodile tears all day crying for the jury. He beat me, he hit me, all this stuff. It was all a lie. They caught her in numerous lies. They impeached her as a witness. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty on 3 counts. But she still got these 3 lawyers from Help Now that are milking the system on government grants, billing flat rate on an hour, fighting me. I'm pro se, I'm my own lawyer. I do my own motions, I file my own lawsuits, and I'm at war with her 3 lawyers, and they're just milking the system. Our tax money, milking the system, claiming she's a domestic violence victim. But I got 3 not guilties. How does that work? It's crazy. So now they've unfortunately involved my daughter's school that I have 100% custody of, and I didn't want it to spill into here. It's already spilled into another school that they were at before, and I'm getting ready to sue a principal of that school and that school. That's a whole nother mess. But now she's trying to spill it into the school. And now she sent DCF here, and now she's involving you guys. And I already see where this is going. And I hope to God that you guys are gonna stay on my side, not start colluding with her and her lawyers like the last school, and do the right thing for the kids. Because to be frank, she is a porn star prostitute from Thailand, and she's a drug addict. She's a mess. She's not a mother, and I've made numerous reports to DCF about it. They keep covering it up. When I went to jail, they put my kids in a crack house across the street because they had Baker acted her into a crazy house because she lied to the police playing victim, saying, I took 10 pills, I tried to kill myself. So they Baker acted her. It backfired on her. That's why DCF got involved in the beginning of all this. But DCF screwed up. There's an obese woman across the street that runs a drug house that they sell meth and crack and all kinds of stuff. It's literally the drug house of the neighborhood, right across the street in Sherwood Forest RV Park in the mobile home park. She goes to Illinois and she traffics drugs with rent-a-cars, okay? She gets her autistic son high and drunk every day. He's an adult, but it's still illegal because he's autistic, he's handicapped. I reported it to DCF countless times, they ignore it. They put my 3 kids in that crack house for 3 days. They refused to get them out until I sued them. I pulled her police records. She's been arrested just one time, was child abuse, possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. 1 arrest. Went down to the Sola County Sheriff's Office, got a copy of the police report. It's heartbreaking. You'll cry if you read it. Cockroaches in the refrigerator, cocaine, children malnourished, the whole 9 yards. DCF came in, they charged her with child abuse, possession of cocaine, all that stuff. For whatever reason, they didn't prosecute the case. I don't know why. But the fact is, DCF put my house in a crack house with a crackhead drug trafficker that has this arrest record. Can you believe that? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that's why they've been at war with me since day one, because they screwed up. And they know it. And they turned around and told me, oh, well, people have arrest records. All those charges were unfounded. They were dropped. But how do you put your kids with somebody that's been arrested for somebody else's kids with somebody that was arrested for all that? And I'm there, the father, telling them when I got out of jail, give me my kids. You put my kids in a crack house with a crackhead, with a drug trafficker. Get her out. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. And that's not even 10%. I won't waste you guys' time anymore, but there's a lot to this. And I'm at war with DCF, my wife, her 3 lawyers, and now they've involved you guys, and I don't want it. Stacy's a great kid. She doesn't need to be in the middle of this, and especially you guys in her school. I bring her to school and pick her up and drop her off every day. She's had a lot of absences, but it's been because of all this court stuff that you guys didn't know about. Every time I go to court, I have to bring her as a standby witness. I have motions on the table for her for child testimony. Every time the judge denies it. It's BS. So I'm going through a lot right now. So if hopefully when the principal gets back, or I get an email back from him on Friday, hopefully him and or Carlos Robas from DCF, because I CC'd him on it, is going to agree, we need law enforcement here with body cameras if this happens again. Because I want to document it. They're not going to pull this garbage again. Oh, he did this, he did that. Oh, his daughter said this. That was the other thing, the last thing. After my separation, I was with that woman for 10 years. My daughter, Stacy, came to me. And you as her counselor, I don't know if she's ever told you anything, but my ex-wife was beating the shit out of her at night, and I didn't know about it, was physically abusing her. And she told me after the separation, because she thought, her name's Nan, Nantita. She thought Nan was her mother for 10 years. And I told her that. But she's actually from my previous marriage. So during the separation, Stacy came to me, and you need to know this as a child counselor, and said to me, there's something I wanted to tell you. I wasn't planning to tell you till I was 18. Nan used to beat the shit out of me at night. She hit me in the head with a hanger. She used to punch me in the face, arms, and legs. She used to tell me I'll never be her real daughter, which I always thought that she was playing along, that it was the real daughter. And she was crying. I called DCF. They did an investigation. No body camera footage. Went to DCF. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There might have been body camera on that one. I don't remember. Point is, they covered it all up. I demanded a forensic interview with the child. You know what that is? They denied it. They closed the case and covered it up to protect the mother. And the reason why I know about the body camera footage, because I think that's the time I had the body camera footage. I have the footage. I have it on my computer. The officer and the investigator, he thought he muted his body camera. He didn't. I have it. And they were outside talking, saying, I think he's coaching her. He's coaching her what to say. I think she's going to lie, before they even interviewed her. After the interview, she came out. She'll tell you. She came out of the interview and she goes, Daddy, they said to me before I even walked into the interview, Daddy must be teaching you well. He's telling you what to say. He's got you lying for him really good, didn't he? How did you tell him that? She was 10 years old at the time. How do you tell a 10-year-old that? That's what they did in the DCF officer to my child. And they covered it up. They closed the case. They refused to do a forensic interview to protect the mother of the 2 little kids that I'm at war with. Yeah, and that, like I said, this is a tip of the iceberg of what I'm going through. I'm going through a mess trying to protect these kids and keep them away from this crack hooker. That's what she is. And unfortunately, all the people on her side are a bunch of far left feminist females that hate men. I hope I didn't offend you by saying that. Every single one of them. Between her purple-haired lawyer, the other one that's a lesbian, the third one, all the women in DCF, they all are on her side. And here I am, the man, trying to protect my 3 children from this crazy crack hooker, and I'm getting nowhere. So the only thing I ask is, at least let's document it on a police body camera. So they can't turn around and change, see, like, thank God you were there yesterday. Thank you for that. Because if you weren't, who knows what they would say that Stacy said. They did it before. They've done it many times. They'll do it again. I do not trust DCF. So I guess there's nothing we can do but talk to the principal, right?
Yeah, because, like, we can't tell them to come in here and bring police with them. That'll have to be something that's already set in motion.
But don't I have some rights as a father telling you guys, hey, I don't...
But we can't enforce that.
You can't enforce
it. State, we can't say, we can't let you in here without police, because we don't have any type of documentation for the school saying that. So we can't really do anything about that. The only thing we can do is provide somebody with her, since she's a minor, to talk to DCF while she's in there. So that's what we can do, but we can't request the law enforcement. We don't have any.
I wonder why DCF told me that.
We don't have any legal documentation saying that you have to bring law enforcement in here when you come talk to the student. So that would be something you probably need to work on getting and send to the school. That way, if they do come, we have.
Well, that's why I CC'd Carlos Robos on my email to Calkins, saying everything I said, that I want law enforcement here, and because, like I said, originally when this stuff kicked off at Kissimmee, I demanded it, and they said, "Yeah, you have every legal right." Now, they lied to me there, and said that police can be there on body camera, but I can't be in the room because of coaching or whatnot or intimidation of the child. And they took the children in. They took Stacy in the room with the police officer without me. But then I found out later, when I opened another investigation against the mother, and they came out to my place, at the time I was living in Palm Bay, the investigator said, that's not true. You absolutely can sit there as long as you don't say a word. You can videotape with your own camera. That's the law. And I did. I have the video from that one. So I can't trust anything these people say anymore. But the last time DCF came out in Palm Bay, they had an officer there come out on body camera, and they let me sit in the room, videotape with my camera, but I was instructed that I could not say a word during the interview. And I didn't. But according to that officer, that is my legal Florida constitutional rights as a United States citizen, as the parental guardian of a child, that I can demand for law enforcement and myself to be there, and we can both videotape, but I can't speak. I don't know. We need to get to the bottom of this, I guess, and figure out what the actual thing is, And I know you want to probably say contact a lawyer, but I've had it with lawyers. I fired my lawyer in this case because, But yeah, I'm gonna actually do some research today and find out, if I can even find out, what the actual law says my constitutional rights are as a guardian. You wouldn't happen to know. I mean, you're a counselor.
I mean, for us, we don't have to call you because it's against you. So why would you be in the room? Mm-hmm. That's just part of their investigation.
That makes sense.
But I stay because they're minors.
Yeah. Was there anything alarming to you that went on in that interview they asked? Mm-hmm. No? It was pretty straightforward, simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what Stacy told me was they basically asked her how I disciplined them, standing in the corner, yada, yada. She told the truth. There's no bruises on Anna, as you saw. Mm-hmm. And then they contacted me, and they didn't tell me that they came here. How nice of them. They contacted me, and I was at the zoo, and I demanded them come over there with police and body cameras. The cops never showed up. The guy sat there in the parking lot for 40 minutes, so finally I just walked out and says, you know what, I'll just film it. The hell with the police, and he took pictures and saw the kids were fine, and that's it. But now I'm up DCF's spot about all of it. This is harassment. I don't know. I guess I wasted enough of your time today.